We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and 3 times a week on the Internet nationwide through knookmedia.com. We have a fascinating guest on the phone who we definitely want to have back another time with more time. Michelle Seiler-Tucker, author of Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth.
Michelle, I want to talk about Hillary and I'm going to set the stage and then you can respond. I was at a meeting and I had this liberal Democrat stand up and say she was going to vote for Hillary for president. And I said, why? And she said, for what she's done. And I said, what has she done? You don't know what she's done? No, tell me. I can't believe you don't know what she's done. Let me know what she's done. And she left the room. So
Well, that would be my big question. What has she done?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your article said Hillary Clinton, the Mitt Romney of 2016, and I thought that was a fascinating analogy. Can you explain that analogy?
Well, yes and no, of course. I'm with you guys.
Michelle,
I don't know what she's done. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't see how she's going to lead this country. I don't see how she's going to get us out of the mess that we're already in. And I just don't think she's the answer. That's the bottom line.
You know, I like the way you said yes, no, and I'm not sure. For a second there, I thought I was talking to a politician.
Did you know that she worked?
I'm definitely not a politician, and I'm a business owner. I mean, my core competency is business. Obviously, we got to stay on top of what's going on in the political community because it does affect our businesses.
Well, you have to remember, poor Hillary, they didn't have enough money when they left the White House. But do you know that she worked on the Watergate investigations and she was kicked off because of ethics?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And when she got into the
because I was just on a TV show in New Orleans, and they interviewed the chef of the White House, and he's actually been the chef under 5 different presidencies, and he was telling us how Hillary was the most difficult first lady out of the 5 that he had served. So it was just funny to hear some of the stories that he had told us about.
Well, you should talk to some of the CIA agents and the Secret Service agents that we've had on the show that talk about some of these politicians.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But Hillary also couldn't remember the travel agency situation when she first got into the White House. She's going to be president, and her other question was, if you remember, the question was, Who do you want to answer the phone at 3 a.m. in the morning? Well, neither one of them answered the phone when Benghazi came up.
Right, that's absolutely true.
I'm getting hot here.
Well, Michelle, any second now, Clay will be fast asleep, so not to worry.
Not today.
Not today. Well, going back to your article, and I agree with you. I looked at that and I love the analogy. In a way, Hillary Clinton is the Mitt Romney of 2016 because people they didn't necessarily trust Mitt Romney, but they agreed with his values. But what they didn't agree with is they just couldn't relate or trust him. And
Obama lied about him. Let's get the facts on the table.
Well, and in Hillary's case, I'm not sure if they like her values, but they just can't warm up to her and trust her. It's interesting because I think Bill annihilated President Bush in the debates, making himself look like the common man. And when Hillary tried that same approach with this, we left the White House broke, it backfired on her.
Right.
So, it's she's trying to use the same tactic her husband did, but she's not the politician he is.
No, absolutely not. And how would you feel about him being back in office?
Well, he did a decent job as a Democrat, but I certainly wouldn't want him back in office. I'd be afraid to let my daughter out.
Well, the interesting thing, though, is he did...
the chef also talked about that, how he prepared dinners for them.
Oh, yeah, that had to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. It was a great conversation.
Dinner for who? Bill and his girlfriend, or Bill and Hillary?
I'll tell you more stories off the air.
Okay, there you go. Michelle, we got to have you back when we have more time.
Sounds great. We could talk about Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth and my new book that's coming out, Quit Your Job and Buy a Business.
When's that coming out?
Probably in about 2 months, 2 to 3 months.
Okay, we will definitely have you back then, okay?
All right, sounds great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Michelle. We have another guest that we want to talk to in a moment, Jacquie Sullivan. She's going to be talking about something very special that's coming up in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, welcome to Taking Care of Business. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, thank you, Marty. Thanks for calling. Love being on your show.
Well, I have to tell you, you're my favorite Bakersfield City Councilwoman.
The smartest, the youngest,
Yes.
the most beautiful city council lady on the council, right?
No question about it.
Now, do I have to be honest and say I'm the only lady on the council at the moment?
Jackie, we don't have to confuse the issue with facts.
Well, I'm all for that then. That's good. But that's a little bit of humor to start our interview.
Jackie, we did that well, you and I.
I've had practice on that one. I've had fun with that, Marty. So I plan to continue with that just as long as I can get away with it.
Jackie, I actually heard you do it before. That's why I slipped into it. So, Jackie,
well, I'm not surprised. Yes.
Let's talk about a great event that's going on at the end of the month. This has to do with the In God We Trust.
Oh, it is truly a great event, Marty. Yeah, it's on the 31st. We have an annual celebration fundraiser once a year. This year we have invited David Barton, founder of Wall Builders, to be our special guest. And those that are familiar with Wall Builders, David Barton is the leading historian in our country and truly an expert on the Constitution and true godly heritage of America. So we are in for a treat, and we are in to know for certainty that we started out being a Christian nation, and we all need to do our part to continue to be a Christian nation.
Amen, Jackie. Amen. So how many, and tell us about In God We Trust. What is it that you're trying to do, and what have you accomplished so far over the years?
Yes, well, we are incorporated. Actually, Marty, back in early 2001, I heard on the radio, on the local Christian radio station, that there was a small group back east protesting that In God We Trust was on one of the public buildings. When I heard that, as I have said before, I was truly offended that they were offended. Then I went on to say to myself, well, fine. They are working to take our motto down. I am going to work to put our motto up. Being one of the local decision makers on the city council, I know how city government works. It takes one more yes vote than no for something to happen. I felt that I would have the support of the majority of the council members sitting on our council at that time. Got it on the agenda. It was a strong majority. It happened. It was in the newspaper the next morning. Other cities around Bakersfield started following our lead. I realized then that wanted to incorporate, to spread this around the country, came up with the name of In God We Trust America. And so we have been working diligently. Our main challenge is getting the word out to municipalities across America. And, it's just amazing how, it's wonderful and very encouraging how well this is being received by others.
And Jackie, this thing has gone viral across the nation now. How many cities have picked up on this now?
Well, let me start with California. Of course, Bakersfield is the founding city. We have 107 cities and counties in our great state of California that have put this on their agenda, voted yes, and put up the words of In God We Trust in their chamber, in their city and county chamber. And when I'm talking to people across the country, give them that number, they say, in California? And I say, yes,
wow.
Yes, in California, at this time, we are the leading state. We certainly are not the most conservative state, so that gives you an idea of what you need to do in your own state. But Marty, our list was just updated today, this morning, and we have 379 cities and counties now in America that are displaying the motto. And by our event, we're going to have very close to 400. But Marty,
wow.
it is so heartwarming to get the responses, from cities and counties saying thank you you for sending your material, for giving us this idea.
Jackie?
We voted last night, and so on.
Yeah, Jackie, I hate to interrupt you. Unfortunately, we're coming up to the end of the show. Give us the phone number people can call.
For our event, it's 325-7601. Tina Miller.
Great. Thank you, and we'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.